أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولئن سألتهم ليقولن إنما كنا نخوض ونلعب قل أبالله وآياته ورسوله كنتم تستهزئون لا تعتذروا قد كفرتم بعد إيمانكم إن نعف عن طائفة منكم نعذب طائفة بأنهم كانوا مجرمين صدق الله العظيم. Yesterday we spoke of the quality of the munafiqun, of their slander regarding Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, the believers. Now in verse 65 of Surah At-Tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is exposing yet another evil of theirs, that when they are addressed about this issue, someone who makes mockery of deen, someone who slanders, when they're addressed about this, they're told that you can't speak like this or you cannot say this. So to maintain, again, they have to maintain the face of Islam, to maintain the face that they're mu'min and Muslim. So they respond with this, that we were just joking, we're just talking, we're just playing around. وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ, if you ask them, that why did you speak like that, why did you say this? So what's their response? لَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّمَا كُنَّا نَخُوضُ وَنَلْعَبُ. We were just talking, we didn't make much of it, we're just playing around, joking around. So the Quran Kareem responds, قُلْ أَبِاللَّهِ وَآيَاتِهِ, O Rasul of Allah, tell them, أَبِاللَّهِ وَآيَاتِهِ وَرَسُولِهِ كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. The principle is this, that you cannot deal with everything and everyone in the same way. To give an example, there are certain things how a person, there are certain individuals how you speak to in one way. How you speak to your children is not how you speak to your friends. How you speak to your friends is not how you speak to your parents. How you speak to your parents is not how you speak to your spouse, for example. There's various ways depending on the association. How people deal with things, inanimate objects. For example, someone has a decorative piece in their house. There's a crystal ball. Do you play catch with your child with that? You don't play with that. If your child uses your car for target practice, for playing something, throwing the ball at it, what do you say? There's a way that this is not what it's meant for. Right? There's a certain value you give to certain things. There's certain ways, some things are delicate, how you deal with them. With inanimate objects, a person is very cautious about these things. You don't play catch with your laptop. You don't throw these things around. Right? And it should be like that. So the same way, when it comes to Allah, His Rasul, the ayat, the verses of the Quran Kareem saying this is not something you joke with. This is not something you can play around with and say that we were just joking. In fact, the very idea that you think that is something of joking, of mockery, of playing, that it's okay with this, that itself becomes an apparent marker of kufr and disbelief. See, a person doesn't pray salah, that's one thing. But if a person makes a mockery and joke out of it, then that person is deemed non-Muslim, kafir. A person doesn't read the Quran Kareem, we give him targheeb, encourage, but brother, you should read, it's a Quran Kareem. But a person disrespects the Quran Kareem. They do things with the Quran Kareem in such a way which shows disrespect towards it. Then that is now, because it's a shi'ar of Islam, it's a salient feature of Islam. وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Ta'ظim sha'air Allah, holding the salient features of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the highest, in high esteem. There's a certain way that a person deals with these things. So if you don't read the Quran Kareem, unfortunate, it's not good, but no one will say you're non-Muslim. But if a person throws it around, na'udhu billah, he puts it in a filthy, dirty place, he doesn't show any regard for it, then this becomes kufri. So the Quran Kareem is addressing the munafiqun, أَبِاللَّهِ وَآيَاتِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So the believer should be very careful that there are limits of how one jokes. You don't joke with the sifat, the names, the qualities of who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. You don't joke with the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Unfortunately, in mainstream American society, where people call themselves that we are believers of Isa, for example, and their TV shows, cartoons, they make fun of Isa, Jesus. Cartoons, they make fun of Jesus. What's the cosmological effect of this? What's the evil effect of this? That because they show such disrespect to Allah and His Rasul, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken away at the general level respect amongst individuals as well. Just today as I was preparing, then after that I went to the store, as I was walking out of the store, the grocery store, I hear one child, she said something, a small girl, she said something, I thought to myself, how disrespect to speak to someone. And I'm thinking in my head that she's speaking to another sibling of hers in this way. She said, use the word, which is not appropriate by any means. So I'm thinking that why could you speak to your sibling like this? It was only when the mother passed by, I heard the mother saying that you don't speak to your mother like this. I almost froze and shocked that this is how this 4-year-old child is speaking to her mother. Now, you may say, oh, this is one-off incident. You and I know this is not one-off incident. The general culture in the country, in fact throughout the world almost now amongst such people, is that there is no respect left for mutual respect. Part of this is because they don't show respect to Allah and His Rasul. Allah Ta'ala takes it. This is a takwini nidam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a cosmological nidam and system of Allah Ta'ala. The way how you deal with Allah, then the same uquba, same punishment comes on you. People who act in one way towards their parents, when they become parents, they should be very careful. If you say something about someone else's children, then watch what will happen to you and your children. So disrespecting the Rasul of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just going to go by like this. This is a form of punishment of Allah ta'ala, that people will not respect you. You as elders in the community then will not be respected. That's Allah ta'ala took away from this community. Not this Muslim, I'm saying the general mainstream American community. قُلَّ بِاللَّهِ وَآيَاتِ وَرَسُولِهِ كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. These aren't things that you mock with, joke with. لَا تَعْتَذِرُوا. Don't bring these excuses, meaning these excuses that we're just playing is not an excuse. That's not a valid excuse. We're just playing. قَدْ كَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ. That apparently when you said La ilaha illallah munafiq, then we took you as Muslim. But now because of your mockery of Islam and the sha'air of Islam, now even apparently this will be taken as kufr. قَدْ كَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ. Or if someone actually has iman and then they engage in this, maybe those are da'if al-iman, then this is considered kufr. إِن نَعْفُ عَنْ طَائِفَةٍ مِّنْكُمْ نُعَذِّبُ طَائِفَةً. There were those who moved away from their nifaq, those that moved away from their hypocrisy. They saw these ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is nothing but mu'jiza, that everything is being exposed, so they accept iman truly. So those people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who then become sahaba, Allah ta'ala pardon them if they were from the munafiqun. But those that did not come towards iman with ikhlas and sincerity, نُعَذِّبُ طَائِفَةً. Then those will be punished. لِأَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا مُجْرِمِينَ. Because they were unbelievers. They were mujrim, they were criminals. That's not from, this is the adl of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His qualities are between rahman and adl. Either mercy from His side, rahmah from Allah's side, or adl and justice. There's no dhulm, there's no oppression. Criminal is punished. They dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the understanding of the Quran and allows us to stay away from the qualities of munafiq.